Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Last Call came out last week. It's the follow-up to the VR experience that came out nearly a year ago now. I'm going to cover all the story details from the expansion since not everyone has access to virtual reality, so be warned for spoilers if you plan to play it. But for a quick review, I thought this was a pretty big improvement over the original release. It had more content, user interface improvements, and more varied levels to experience. The initial release was just running and gunning pretty much the whole time. There's still a lot of that, and it can get repetitive, but there were a lot more puzzles and other additions to keep things a little more fresh. The locations are all interesting and they look good, and there are some funny Easter eggs or small details like the fact that you can steal sporks from the bar and sell them for a high profit, which is what people actually did at Galaxy's Edge when it opened. They stole the sporks. It's about 3 total hours of content played on the easiest mode. There are 2 main stories, which are related, and then 2 tales you can play through. Smaller, unrelated, but still fun little stories. I will say it was a little buggy. I had multiple crashes, and the headset just hurts my head, but that might be me showing my age and being grumpy, I don't know. Anyway, let's get into what actually happens. In the first game, you help R2-D2 and C-3PO start to set up the Resistance base. I guess your exploits against the Guavian Death Gang gained you some notoriety because Dok-Ondar asks you to help him out recovering a Force relic from the old Jedi temple that used to be on the planet. The same Sith relic you fight against with Yoda in the single tale from the first release of the game. You again have to fight against the Guavian Death Gang and find the first clue to opening the Jedi temple. To find the second half of the clue, you have to solve some light puzzles, which I liked. It had a very Indiana Jones quality to it, even though the solutions were very simple. You meet a mercenary named Len's Camo, as well as Dok-Ondar's rival, a baron of some sort, who I believe appeared on Canto Bight in The Last Jedi. He's got an army of droids you have to fight through, but you are able to find the final piece of information needed to enter the Jedi Temple. So you and Linz head off in a tenuous alliance to find the Sith artifact. This was the coolest part of the story to me, wandering the ruins of a High Republic-era temple. I just loved seeing that symbol plastered around the archives and various rooms. Linz learns to trust you, and together you get the relic and deliver it to Dok-Ondar. Unfortunately, Cecil Slack, the cantina owner, is kidnapped while you're away. You're able to piece together that the First Order took him for spreading anti-fascist stories. Hondo Onaka wanders out of the refresher to help you put together a plan to rescue the friendly bartender, and also maybe help him make some money along the way. All of the characters you meet over the course of the previous missions of every game offer their support. You break into the First Order facility where you learn that not only are they brainwashing Batuu citizens into becoming First Order drones, but they're also drilling into the planet for its resources. You rescue Cecil Slack and destroy the facility by sabotaging the drill. You take down the First Order Lieutenant Gage, and then Hondo picks you up in the Katuni, which was fun to see. Back at the cantina, everyone celebrates and I assume lives happily ever after. You can also play 2 other tales. The first is a continuation of Adi's son Z's story from last year. As a Padawan, she was corrupted by the Sith relic, but with Yoda's help, she freed herself. Now she's a Jedi Knight with her own apprentice named Nua. She teaches Nua 3 lessons and gives up her master's Kyber crystal to a shrine as a final goodbye. This was probably my favorite part of the game. There were lots of lessons about patience, which felt appropriate because the controls for using the Force were kind of finicky and required patience. I think it's funny that I got worse with the Force the more frustrated I got. I doubt that was intentional, but it is accurate either way. And finally, there was a tale about IG-88. It takes place on Nar Shaddaa right before the droid heads to the Executor in The Empire Strikes Back. IG-88 is offered a job that's actually helpful to people, taking down a local crime boss up in a skyscraper. The setup was a lot like the movie The Raid, which I love. You basically get to be a one-man army, stomping your way through floor after floor, blasting anything that moves. I played in seated mode in my office chair, and swiveling around made me feel like IG-11 in The Mandalorian. That was super fun. Anyway, IG-88 takes down the crime boss and heads off to the Executor. He also had some fun lines that connected back to his Legends origins. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Last Call. It's a neat experience. If you've already got an Oculus Quest and like VR, I'd say it's worth the cost. If you're interested in getting into VR, I'm on the fence about the Quest. It's cool the way it's all self-contained, but mine hurts my head after like 20 minutes. Maybe the Quest 2 is more comfortable. Between this and Vader Immortal, Star Wars does have some pretty good VR offers now. I still wouldn't say, oh, you have to get a Quest to play these, but they're fun. It's pretty awesome holding a lightsaber or a blaster, but the novelty does wear off. If you've played Tales from the Galaxy's Edge, let me know what you thought in the comments. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.